Hey there. For 2.5 years now, I've been sounding the alarm about Saudi Arabia's inevitable decline and how I think the royal family should be gone by 2030. It seems like every fall brings a new milestone in that process. In November 2017, the government that was supposedly looking for outside investment kidnapped and extorted the country's largest investors. In October 2018, Saudi Arabia's government sent a kill team to dismember Jamal Khashoggi, a Washington Post reporter who was personal friends with the foreign policy elites of the United States, Saudi Arabia's greatest protector and patron. These were both incredibly stupid and damaging things for Saudi Arabia to do to itself, but these attacks on Saudi oil installations last weekend are on a whole nother level. What looks like a combined drone and missile attack on two Saudi facilities has temporarily knocked out 50% of Saudi Arabia's oil production capacity. This amounts to 5 to 6% of world production. Saudi Arabia finally has the oil price spike that they've been working so hard for with OPEC quotas since November 2016, and it's the Texans and the Russians who will get the benefits. The US government is currently desperately trying to pin these attacks on Iran, but no matter what they come up with, it won't change a simple fact. These attacks are much more Saudi Arabia's fault than anybody else's. It's worth re-emphasizing a point that often gets lost. This attack on Saudi Arabia's oil resources isn't an escalation or a provocation. Saudi Arabia invaded its neighbor Yemen 4 years ago. It has killed tens of thousands of people directly, and its blockade has likely led to more than 100,000 deaths from cholera and starvation. Saudi Arabia's allies, from the US Congress to the United Arab Emirates, have been making it damn clear that it's time to give up on this war before it gets worse. Well, Saudi Arabia didn't listen, and it just got worse. Yemen's Houthis have claimed responsibility for these attacks, and I'm inclined to accept that. It's a shame that Saudi Arabia has lost half of its oil production temporarily, but they have been murdering children for 4 years. This is not an escalation. This is not terrorism. This is a war, and it's a war that Saudi Arabia started. Surprisingly, the Trump administration has been crying wolf about Iran for so long that not even the reliably pro-war New York Times is buying their bullshit anymore. Thanks largely, I think, to Khashoggi, nobody is interested in seeing Saudi Arabia as the victim anymore. US intelligence is now unequivocally claiming that the attack came from Iran, but Saudi Arabia wants the United Nations to do an investigation to slow down the march to war. It seems like Saudi Arabia has been effectively deterred by this attack. Trump is locked and loaded and ready to go, but Saudi Arabia seems to have learned an overdue lesson. A couple of months back, I warned that a real war in the Gulf was likely to end the Saudi monarchy long before it damaged the Iranian regime. Saudi confidence in the promises of billion-dollar weapons systems from the United States was always misplaced. Iran's weapons make up for their lack of sophistication with their quantity, making Saudi Arabia's production infrastructure very vulnerable. I did not expect this point to be proven before the war even started. It's unclear how long it will take for Saudi Arabia to come fully back online, but even if they fix things quickly, their position has been undermined in a vital way. This attack's effect on markets has been shocking, but it has been shocking because it is so small. One of the big talking points about this attack is the fact that it is, by volume, the largest disruption of oil markets ever. But what this handy graphic from Bloomberg leaves out is that production from the US and around the world is now so much larger. This incident is demonstrating just how little Saudi Arabia matters anymore. The attack took place on Saturday. On Monday, oil prices did spike by 15%, but they fell back on Tuesday. As of this writing, the loss of half of Saudi Arabia's oil production has led to only a 5% spike in oil prices and around a 1% drop in the US stock market. That's extraordinary. Famed TV stock picker Jim Cramer has pointed out how different things would have been just a decade ago. Now don't get me wrong, this could turn on a dime. Oil prices could spike 25% by the time I upload this video later today. You may have been hearing the term risk premium a lot this week. Hopeful oil traders are imagining that this attack will bring about a permanent boost in oil prices, but it may end up doing the opposite. This attack may have shown just how little Saudi Arabian production matters anymore and how secure our oil supplies actually are. If that's true, then Saudi Arabia is essentially useless. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and you might enjoy this video on the Aramco IPO that helps to illustrate just how much trouble Saudi Arabia is in.